Okay, so they have a flaming red hot iron. They're toasting the top? Bonjour, friends. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully, you're having a super fun, awesome day. We're going to learn about pastries. That is right. We have a suggestion by one of you awesome people, and we're going to check it out. It's by the channel France 24 English. Recipe for Success. France's pastry culture. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well, because it's France 24 English, and I do a France reactions channel, so it's fitting. There's going to be a ton of videos, I would assume, that would be good for me to react to and for us to watch together. So anyways, links down below for this original video as always, and we're going to just jump right into it and see what this is all about.
Pastry world superstar. Cédric Grolet was named the world's best pastry chef in 2018, and those with a sweet tooth can't seem to get enough.
Nice.
We doubled our production. We did the best we could. People are buying at an incredible speed. The first person arrived at 11:30 last night.
Jeez. 11:30 last night. Oh wait, why is this? Oh, because I was checking my sound. Okay, we weren't at the beginning of the video. Here we go. Now we are. I always randomly skip through to make sure my audio levels are good before I record. I don't watch anything ahead of time or anything. I just, kind of go like this, play for a second. Just to kind of make sure, like I said, make sure my audios aren't too off. I do have to go through and edit afterwards just to kind of fine tune and make sure my voice ain't too loud compared to the video and whatnot. But anyways, enough rambling on. We're going to continue. We're going to start this actually this time. France in focus.
You make cakes for the people you love. I think that's where my passion for pastry begins.
If it's beautiful, people will be drawn in, but if it's tasty, they'll come back.
I mean, good point, for sure. Whoa, what was that? Not that. That, what are they doing? Okay, so they have a flaming red hot iron. They're toasting the top? Wow, okay. Interesting.
Macaroons, millefeuilles, opera, eclairs. Welcome to a sinfully sweet edition of France in Focus. I'm Nadia Charvi, and this week you join us in the gourmet aisles of one of Paris's best-loved department stores to talk about the French art of pastry making.
And it's in one of the department stores. That's interesting. There's a pastry shop in a department store. Is it kind of like a mall? Like here in the United States, they're not as popular anymore, but 20 years ago, there was malls in all these big cities. Every big city had a mall, and it was just like a giant building. And you walk through, kind of like a town hall or like a town square in like a city, right? Just big open areas, and you got stores everywhere, right? But it's inside of a building instead of just being an open air city. I wonder if that's what this is a mall. Because a department store to me is like where you would go buy like housewares and like clothing and stuff.
While the country faces some stiff competition in the wider culinary world, patisserie remains a French preserve, and with good reason. Take a look.
With more than 35,000 establishments in France, French patisserie is a thriving sector. It employs more than 180,000 people, and 1 of every 8 of them is an apprentice. A young and innovative industry then, as well as a lucrative one, with €1 billion in revenue every year. Whether it's on TV or social media, the number of patisserie fans is growing. 38% of French people buy theirs in shops, while 46% prefer to make their pastries at home.
I mean, it's a lot cheaper to make them at your house for sure, but they might not get as fancy looking as the ones you buy in the shop. Like there was one that looked like a lemon. Like it showed me one that looked like, or showed us one that looked like a lemon.
Macaron to éclair, millefeuille, or the Saint-Honoré, there are more than 120 classic confections as well as regional specialities.
Yeah.
Patisserie dates back to the 16th century, when the first choux pastry was created by Catherine de' Medici's personal chef.
Choux pastry.
Some pastries are luxury items, with a collection of haute couture macarons coming in at €5,000, the same price as a kilo of gold leaf-coated chocolate truffle.
Who is wasting their money on this? Okay, the same price as gold flake covered truffle? Like, who in the... If you got $5,000 to waste on some stupid gold flake truffle, come on. You could be making better life decisions than that, I'm just saying.
Another marker of their great success, an International Patisserie Day, as well as the macaron's own special feast day on the 20th of March.
Macaroons are good. I've had them.
With a combination of technical skill and creativity, the latest generations of young pastry chefs have elevated dessert making to a veritable art form. Add to that a sprinkling of TV bake-off shows, a dollop of social networking, and some amazing designs, and what you're serving up is a French addiction.
It's a cold.
And it spreads all over the world because macaroons, you can get them here. Probably not as good as those, I guarantee you that. But yeah, French pastries in general are like just world class, I feel. French food is world class in general.
Day in Paris, and a queue is already forming along the Avenue de l'Opéra. Some of these people have been waiting for hours, and it's all for a piece of cake.
I planned on coming here. I took the day off.
Even if I need to wait 3 hours, that's okay. I'll wait 3 hours.
Inside the shop
Dang.
is a pastry world superstar. Cédric Grolet was named the world's best pastry chef in 2018, and those with a sweet tooth can't seem to get enough.
We doubled our production.
Hold on, what
And
are these
those
little
with a
gold
sweet
things?
tooth can't seem to get enough.
11 cents and 8 cents? Is that what they're saying? Is this actually the price here? Is this 11 cents and 8 cents? Is that what they're charging? No, 11 carat and 8 carat? Because there's like gold and stuff in it, maybe? It does look like there's gold flake in it. If you're gonna waste your money to just like, oh well, I'll give you like a bunch of extra money to put some gold flake in my food. I don't understand. I absolutely do not understand. It doesn't do anything for you. You're just wasting your money just to be like bragging about like, oh, well, look at me. I'm so fancy. I got gold in my food and I can afford $5,000 in truffles. I mean, hey, you do you. Whatever you want to do with your money, I guess.
We doubled our production. We did the best we could. People are buying at an incredible speed. The first person arrived at 11:30 last night.
Yeah, that's
Grolet
crazy.
achieved notoriety nearby at luxury hotel Le Meurice, known for its fine cuisine.
I went around to the staff entrance, dropped off my resume, and started as an apprentice.
In just a few years, he moved up the ranks and became head pastry chef in 2012. It's a
Yeah.
big feat for a 34-year-old, but his success lies in turning the rules of pastry upside down and making cakes as pleasing to the eye as they are to the taste buds. Today,
34 years old, best pastry chef in France. That's incredible.
he is testing the latest version of one of his famous fruit.
I really feel like I'm eating a grapefruit. We have the refreshing side. You like the aloe vera inside? That's exactly what I want.
Once he mastered the craft,
Aloe vera? And it tastes like a grapefruit? Are those good? Has anybody had these? I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know what aloe vera tastes like. I put aloe vera on like cuts and stuff. If you cut your finger, you put some aloe vera on it, sure, but it's good for your face, like good for your skin, a little aloe vera, but I don't know what it would taste like. I've never tried it.
Grolet turned to artistry. His eye-catching creations have garnered 1.5 million followers on Instagram.
If it looks beautiful, people will be drawn in. But if it's tasty, they'll come back.
As soon as he posts, business is multiplied by 2 or 3.
During opening hours, 35 pastry chefs bring Grolet's ideas to life.
When he's not here, I tell myself he's behind me to push myself a bit more.
While his team concentrates on today's favorites, Grolet is already working on next year's creations.
Heck yeah.
For the fans who want to try their own hand at making pastry magic, star chef Christophe Michalak teaches the tricks of the trade at his masterclass in the heart of Paris.
Bonjour tout le monde!
Hold on, and where in Paris?
Tricks of the trade at his masterclass in the heart of Paris.
Bonjour tout le monde!
If you guys are watching my videos here and you're in Paris, go check this out. Go do a pastry class. That would be cool, right?
Ah, comment ça va? On va faire péter la panna cotta là, rapido. Ok, alors c'est parti. C'est fou, on va passer que du bon temps. D'accord, tout ce qu'on va faire va être goûté là sur place. J'ai mis du jus de citron et j'ai mélangé ma cassonade avec un peu de pectine pour avoir une texture un peu ouais, plus soyeuse, exactement. C'est deux associations très simples, très réussies.
Lemon, brown sugar, and then pectin to thicken it, I would assume. That's what the pectin's about, but lemon and brown sugar, I bet that's good. I mean, lemon and regular sugar is good. So brown sugar has almost like a caramely kind of a dark taste to it. That would definitely, oh man, I need to try something like that. I need to try that so bad. That sounds good.
Mais qui marche à 200%.
200%.
Vous versez votre panna cotta, vous laissez figer au réfrigérateur et puis hop. Donc lait de coco, crème, vous mettez un alcool, vous mettez un zeste d'orange si vous voulez. Vous pouvez le dresser directement sur votre assiette.
Nice.
Christophe
That
Michalak,
looks-
hello.
Was there shells? Did it look like shells? Oh no. It's like these little, well, I guess it kind of resembles shells. These little doodads. It looks like shells, kind of, but it's not. It's just the texture of whatever those flakes are on the top. That looks good. I could get down with something like that. That looks good.
Christophe Michalak, hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much for having us. Why do you think pastry chefs have become such rock stars here in France?
Alors,
First, you need to bear in mind that just 20 years ago, at the start of the noughties, pastry chefs and patisserie in general were never in the spotlight. It's really
The start of what? The 90s? That was more than 20 years ago. When was this video? Okay, this video was done 5 years ago. That'd be 2020. Yeah, 20 years ago wouldn't be the start of the 90s.
of the noughties, pastry chefs and patisserie in general were never in the spotlight. It's really in 2004 or 2005 that I was able to take part in a few TV shows and make a name for myself. And the first pastry bake-off show was the one I created in 2007, which is when pastry slowly began to take center stage.
First pastry baking show? That's cool. I wonder if they have a American version, because a lot of times like countries steal ideas for TV shows from other countries and then they do their version and stuff. That'd be kind of cool to watch.
You mentioned TV shows. How does this branding of your style and expertise actually affect the way you work?
In 2010, I really wanted to put the focus on making sure that each pastry chef developed their own style. Up until then, everyone just copied each other's work. And I'm pleased to say that it's now the case. There's been real progress with the new generation of pastry chefs. But let's not forget that, above all else, our job is to pass on our expertise and recipes.
And so that's what you do here with your masterclasses?
Exactly. This is where I share my take on pastry. Imaginative, rock and roll, modern. I also love old recipes. Sometimes I use recipes from 10, 15, 20 years back. Recipes inspired by fellow pastry chefs. And it's good to talk about other people's work, not just your own.
Yeah, just because a recipe is like an old recipe, 10, 20, 30 years back, doesn't mean that it's not good. I mean, food is food. If something tastes delicious, it doesn't matter that, 40, 30 years from now, No, what's going to change? Nothing. It's still going to be delicious food. There's so many foods that we eat nowadays that are old, that got started way back in the day. Some of them stayed pretty true to the original. Other ones have slowly modified over the years, but we don't. The majority of the foods that people eat are old recipes. I mean, let's be real here.
And why is France still the world's leading pastry nation, do you think?
I think French patisserie leads the pack for the simple reason that pastry is an integral part of our culture, and we're also lucky to have many regional specialties, from Brittany's Queen Amande to Alsatian Kugelhof. Those are incredible riches.
Was that a king's cake? Or whatever it's called? That one that's got the little jewel in it? The New Year's cake, right? Or Christmas cake? I don't remember. I did a reaction to a video about this. Galette de Roi or something.
Brittany's Queen Amande to Alsatian Kugelhof. Those are incredible riches.
How would you describe haute pâtisserie?
La priorité, c'est de créer des émotions.
First, it's about sparking emotion, but behind that emotion, you need to give your cake some structure and work like an architect, layering flavors, layers, and temperatures. It's a long process that, done right, allows you to serve up some truly insane pastry.
The spotlight is now on pastry chefs here in France, and that's created a lot of vocations. What's your message for wannabe pastry rock stars?
Ce qui est fabuleux, c'est que
I think it's fantastic that TV has fueled so much interest in this job, because I know that when I started out, my friends were told, work at school or you'll end up like Michalak baking cakes on a Sunday. Nowadays, everyone wants to bake like Michalak on a Sunday. So we need to remember that it's an amazing job that requires passion, but also hard work. You need to do the hard graft, pay attention to detail. It's not easy. And what you see on social media is one thing. It's great, but it's not necessarily real life. For every stunning cake, there's 70% of preparation and cleaning.
Avant de pâtisser, il y a 70% de préparation et de nettoyage.
And so where do you see French patisserie going from here?
Well, when I was asked that question 10 years ago, I would say, I hope that French pastry making will become deeply personal, that each chef will learn to express their identity through their cakes. Now, as we enter a new decade, I think the focus is more on being mindful of the ingredients you use in a cake to ensure that it's good in every sense of the word.
Right, but yeah, each person's going to probably develop their own style, kind of like artists that draw. You know, you can kind of, if you follow an artist and they have that particular style, right, and then you just go to a random place and you see one of their paintings or drawings somewhere without anybody telling you who it was, in your mind you would be like, oh, that looks like that could be a so-and-so drawing or a so-and-so painting, right? Same thing with this, you know, each person's going to have their own style. Of course, you're going to have a lot of across the board, but certain people will excel and they will just get so creative with it because it is an absolute art form for sure.
Michalak, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, as we've seen, high-end patisserie often comes with the added sweetener of a tasty narrative and design. But seasonal, organic and responsibly sourced produce have only just started to feature on the menu. Let's take a look now at a few French pastry chefs with an appetite for sustainability.
Yeah, that's the new wave of, which I agree. I mean, your stuff should be chemical free. Like your food should be safe, for sure.
It's all hands on deck in the pastry kitchen of Des Gâteaux et du Pain. But amid the flurry of activity, Chef Claire Damon never loses sight of a key idea for her and her team: pleasure. Taking the time to choose the fresh fruit that will go into these creations, the pleasure in tasting, peeling and cooking them, then the high standards when it comes to selecting these organic, seasonal products. The origin of the ingredients is a serious subject.
The thing with organic, though, like here in the United States, at least, I can't speak for France, of course, but here in the United States, a lot of people are poor, right? A lot of people can't afford groceries. Like the cost of groceries are going up. Like we just paid like $8 for an 18-pack of eggs. That's insane. And so you know, it's like, yes, we would love to eat organic. We would all love to eat healthy. But the thing is if you go into the store you're not going to get healthy food for cheap. The cheap food is highly unhealthy. And then even other food, like, say, beef, right? You're going to pay already an insanely high price. Well, then if you go and look at the organic section, it's sometimes 2-3 times the cost. If you already can't afford the base cost of groceries, it's really hard to pay double or triple the price for the same amount of food just because, oh, I know these ingredients are healthier for me. When, you can't afford groceries, man. It's like, you got to do what you got to do. And I got to look out for me and mine for today. I can't be worried about like, oh, well, I'll live longer. Like, yeah, I would love to live longer. I'd love to. But if you if you're barely getting by, how could somebody afford to get a third less, or just a third of the groceries in general that they would normally be able to get? But it's like, oh, but these are organic. You can't be picky and choosy. You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm all on board the organic thing, but the thing is the cost does not justify it in my eyes, at least here in this country. Again, I cannot speak for France.
It's important from an ecological point of view and from a taste perspective too. Produce has a very different taste based on its origin. For example, when you use the new variety apples, the flavor is very standardized, the shape is very uniform, and the methods of production are too.
A hands-on session with one of the bakery's signature pastries.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, better ingredients is going to be better food. Like, I'm not disagreeing with the healthy ingredients and organic by any means at all. I'm just disagreeing with the capitalistic American ways of charging triple the price for it. That's all.
You see, for this apple turnover, there's a week of work that goes into it. There are lots of different stages and manipulations of the pastry. Our signature is that we take our time, the time for the pastry to rest, to work with the fruit. Since these are fresh products, we have to understand how to handle them.
The sort of technical attention to detail that has long been the norm in gastronomical restaurants, but less so in patisseries. They're principles shared by pastry chef Jean-François Fouché, who tries to practice what he preaches. He's testing and tweaking the new season's creations in his Parisian shop.
I brought you a little of everything from the orchard so we can work on it together. Here are a couple of examples.
After years working in high-end restaurants, Fouché set up his own patisserie production in Normandy, where he wanted to outlaw chemical additives from his desserts, but admits it was a risky choice.
I'm not going to lie, food colorings do give a lovely effect visually. That was a risk when we started. We thought we'd lose sales. But once we'd explained it to our customers, they really liked this approach, and they came back for more for that very reason.
No, yeah, I'm all on board. There's no reason to use food coloring additives, right? Like, there's no purpose beyond, oh, it makes it look nice. So for those things to be in the food, I don't agree. They should not be in there. But should the same food without those added chemicals cost more? Because you'd think they're saving money on the chemicals. They're not putting all this food coloring in there. But no, you get it without the food coloring and they charge you more. I don't understand.
Like Claire Damon, Jean-François Fouché has strong links with local producers and is a supporter of sustainable food networks. His goal is to be 100% self-sufficient for the production of his pastries, thanks to his orchards, fields and meadows in the countryside in Normandy.
Nice.
Well, with that, we leave this edition. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to France 24.
That would be super cool to be self-sufficient, but the thing is to be completely self-sufficient, wouldn't you have to have fields full of wheat to be able to mill flour out of? He'd have to have like cows, right, to get the milk and the cream. Of course, chickens to get eggs. I guess it's doable. I wonder how much land you'd have to though. I mean, he's probably a pretty big business there. So, anyways, France's pastry culture, guys, that's amazing. Recipe for success, it says. So, there's not much more to say. I've already said a lot throughout the video. It's time for you to say what you have to say in the comment section, guys. So go ahead, drop a comment, hit like and subscribe. Have a super fun, awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Bye.